We are live in three, two, one. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hatfield Hatter Club, where the tea is hot, the stories are hotter, and today the oven is definitely preheated. I'm your host, Adam, and this week we're literally turning up the heat because I'm joined by the one and only, the icon herself, Liz, my grandmother, business owner, culinary queen, and living proof that age has got nothing to do with how you live your life. Nana, how long you run a cooking business, home cooking, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not mistaken because I'm smart and genius. How long have you
Well,
been running?
first of all, I would say hello, Adam.
Well, good point. Hello, Nana. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm doing very well, and as everyone can hear, the audio quality is so much better. I got a microphone, by the way. Now, Nana, how long have you been running home cooking?
I think it's about 28 years, 29 years.
Wow, and 29 years. So you must have started it when you were about 50, 50 something?
Yes, I would most probably have been about 52.
Wow, and how? So, okay. So here's a question for you. Nana, do you have any chaotic or comedic stories from home cooking, from your time running home cooking?
No, not really. We had two or three disasters, and but it was fixed up pretty quickly. And yes, so things normally went smoothly. And
Tell the
also,
listeners,
it went smoothly because Tracy was here.
of
And when
course, tell the
Tracy's around,
listeners
everything
about
goes.
the blue, tell the listeners about the blue rice.
Yeah, we were catering for a wedding, and we'd cooked the rice during the night. Tracy and I didn't sleep that night. We just worked throughout the night.
For
So we
people who
cooked
for
the
people who
rice.
don't know who Tracy is my aunt, and my and Nana's daughter,
My
just for
daughter,
reference.
my daughter. Yes, we were the. It was Tracy and myself that started the
The
catering
two
business.
pioneers, as I like to say.
And then she abandoned me and she moved to Canada.
Deliver
And
you hey, you had the opportunity to move to Canada and you denied it twice.
I know that's how I still, especially if I look upon it as abandonment.
Yeah, okay, I
Just
suppose
kidding.
so. Carry on,
Just
carry on.
kidding. Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, the next day, Tracy, was at the wedding because she had to see to everything. And when they opened up the rice, it had turned blue and it was smelling awful smell.
Normally
And
that is what happens when things go
Tracy
off, but
started
anyway.
panicking. And then luckily, um, the menu that the people asked for was half rice and half baked potato bag. So we had
I
all the
love your
potato
potato bag.
bag, and Tracy managed to share that, with all the people. So
And then
nobody went without.
and then I believe there was an emergency trip to Nando's involved in your 29 years of cooking as well.
Oh no, that was another time. It was chicken curry, and we had put the chicken curry in the fridge and covered it, and it was still too hot. And the next day, when Tracy went off to deliver the food, I think it started smelling, and then it started bubbling
Bubbling.
and bubbling, and she was distraught. And luckily, there was a Nando's close by. So she just, quickly went
Sorry,
in and
Nana, quickly, can
ordered
I just
a
interject?
chicken.
Can you just turn the lamp under your computer on, please? The lamp
And
above your computer.
um, above the computer.
The light bar that is on your desk, the one that's always on.
Yes, it's on.
Oh, is it okay? Carry on.
Oh, no, so then Tracy bought Nando's chicken, and so everybody was still happy with the food. No one knew about the curry that had gone off.
Well, that's always good when you can pass off Nando if your food is so good, if they think your food is so good that you can pass off Nando's as your own. What else? Have you ever had, because you used to provide school food for quite a lot of schools. Country Play Day and the Crawford schools. You still provide for the Crawford pre-primary. Tell me something. Have you ever, because you used to have a driver, Jackson, and he used to do all the delivering for you, before COVID. Now tell me, did his car ever break down and you weren't able to deliver food to one of the schools?
Never.
Even, are you sure? Because you did have a Berlingo.
Uh, oh, yes, goodness gracious me. I'm thinking of the Corsa.
Yeah. The
Um,
Corsa.
yes, we had a Corsa panel van.
Oh, fine, okay.
Can you remember that one? It was a little white car.
I don't
Cool.
remember it, but I have a picture in my head. I just can't place it. But yeah, carry on.
Maybe you weren't born that day.
No, I must have been. I'm sure I no, because I remember my
It was
earliest memories
before.
are walking past the Berlingo and pulling off the home cooking sticker, the meals at home sticker. You know the magnetic thing that stuck to the side of the car and it said home cooking, contact Sharon or whatever. That's all my earliest memories.
Yes, no, no. I think it was. I think it had to have been before you were born.
Yeah.
We got the one Berlingo after the Corsa, and then afterwards we got a second
Yeah.
Berlingo.
So I know for a fact that the Berlingos have got a funny story that I'll tell you in a second, but um did was there ever a time where you couldn't deliver the food because the Berlingo decided to go, nope, not today, goodbye, arrivederci?
We always made a plan.
Of course. But
Always
also,
made a
I
plan.
don't know
No
if you
one ever,
remember.
in 28 years or 29 years, no one ever went without their food.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now I've got a funny
I
story
always,
that you might not
and of
remember.
course, we live so close to the school now. I always tell Trudy, it doesn't matter if our car breaks down, you can just walk up the road,
Yeah, that's true.
carry all the crates, carry all the crates.
So I've got a story for you.
Yes.
Silence. So I don't know if you'll remember this, but when you got the Honda Jazz, I remember they forgot to service it, and it had to go back in for a service. This was must have been just before yeah, this was just before COVID, and you came to pick us up from Broadacres, and you came in the Berlingo. I'm like, no, no, where's the Honda Jazz? She's like, no, it's in for a service. You started the car, it went, boom, boom, and then you put the car into neutral. You put the brake down. You're like, why is the car not going? Why is it just revving? And I'm like, and you like sat there and you were like, why is the car not moving? But obviously because it's a manual, it wasn't, and now your Honda Jazz is automatic. So you put it into neutral thinking that was drive, and then you were like, it's not going, it's not going. And then I think Tracy must have phoned.
Your
Tracy must have
memory.
phoned at the exact time we were trying to get it. And I answered the phone. I'm like, hello, Tracy. And she's like, where are you? I'm like, no, we've been sat at Broadacres for 10 minutes. She's like, why? And I'm like, no, I can't get the Berlingo to go. She's put it into neutral and it's not going anywhere. She's like, yes, because it's not an automatic. It's kind of a manual. You do have to kind of like actually shift gears. And I think we spent the whole way home going so slow because you were so scared to do like change the gears and try and stall the car.
Listen, your memory is a lot better than mine. I can't remember that at all.
Don't you? It was actually quite.
Mm,
It was quite
no.
funny. What was the other thing? Give me a second. Oh yes, so I've got some club confessions from some listeners today that I thought it would be criminal not to mention. So let's get those up.
What is that?
It's a confession, an embarrassing confession. So here's one from Emily, my cousin. At Oliver's wedding, when we got to the hotel, I was running towards the hotel room and fell face first into the floor, right in front of the photographer's camera. Now this was hilarious, right? I saw a video of it. It was like borderline. It was hilarious. Um,
So,
even
so were you videotaped?
No, no, not me, but she was being I think it must have been a video. I don't know how someone sent it to me, and I saw this video, and I sat there in the car on the way to our hotel on that night, and I was like crying. It was amazing. And then her Hatfield hypothetical. If you could, no, okay, right. We messed this up last time we recorded this. This is hypothetically in a world where anything is possible. If you could, would you dig straight through to the other side of the world?
Would I dig?
Straight,
dig?
yes. Would you go straight, so through South Africa? What's on the other opposite side of South Africa? It must be, what is it? It must be the US or Canada. Or if you could, would you dig straight through this from your house all the way through to the other side of the world?
Well, the thing is, if I was crazy, I most probably would do it, but I'm not
Well,
crazy,
are you
so
sure
I
about that?
wouldn't do it.
Sure about that?
Not quite sure, quite sure.
Okay.
Would
And then
you? Would you do it?
I would. I think I'd just do it for the experience, the same way that I really want to go bungee jumping.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, did you hear the story? Did you hear the story about the 104-year-old woman that went skydiving?
Yes.
And
I
then
did.
and then and then I
I
think
did.
she passed away like a week later from natural causes or something. And then I was reading this article and I watched this video and her face was like her face had been like lifted up because obviously she's got a lot of wrinkles at 104, obviously that happens. And her face had been like lifted up in like do you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. And I sat there cackling my head off. It was hilarious. But another question. So, what? So, tell me the full story of how home cooking started and came to be.
Oh goodness. I was involved with a company called Sportron. They were a
Yes.
vitamin company.
Yeah, they provided me with melatonin for a while when I was diagnosed with my ADHD.
Yes. And what was the other thing that uh, oh no, it wasn't you, it was Slater. There was one product called Infogard,
Yeah.
and it was a small little bottle, and the most foul taste that you can't even imagine how bad the taste was. I mean, there were so many things in there, things like garlic, and
Oh God.
I actually can't remember what all the ingredients were. And uh, Slater just loved it, just loved it. And we always used to say that they should use him as an advertisement for this Infogard. But whenever he saw a bottle, he wanted to have some, and he would just drink it out of the bottle.
Like an addiction, like I'm just gonna use this example, like you're addicted to hot chocolate.
I'm not
Oh,
addicted to
speaking of hot
hot
chocolate,
chocolate.
Tracy's gonna buy did you have hot chocolate while you must have had hot chocolate while you were there? The
Yes,
coronation one? Yeah, she's going to buy like two things for me. Because she doesn't drink hot chocolate. So then when we go camping or when we're at the house, I can just have a glass of a mug of hot chocolate. Right.
yes, yeah, no, actually the hot chocolate, in Canada was quite good.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
not as good, not as good as the one that I get
Obviously.
in South Africa.
Obviously. The one that is what, like 200 rand now? What's that? That's like £5? No,
Yeah, it's crazy.
£10? Right.
It's crazy. Little
So
container that was paying 49 rand, 95
I remember we got
cents,
like a 1 kilogram
120.
on a discount with your smart shoppers. Oh no, with my planet because I was a new member and at Woolworths and it was like 50 rand for a kilogram when we were there. It was like 75% off or something. I think it was like a clearance sale with my planet. It was amazing. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Right. Pause for a second. I'm just trying to find it. Oh yes. How did home cooking come to be? And let's not deviate this time.
Well, the thing is, we had a friend, Teresa, who was the dietitian at Sportron, and they were having a meeting for doctors. I think it was new products that were being introduced, and they were having it catered for. And then late that afternoon, Teresa phoned me in an absolute panic, saying they just delivered the food and there wasn't even enough for 20 people. Could Tracy and I help? So I got hold of Tracy. Tracy ran off to one shop. I ran off to another shop. And while we were putting all this food together, Tracy said to me, Mom, you and I we can do this, and we can do a lot better than a lot of people.
And that is
So
very true.
at the time, she was lecturing at Wits University. She's an oral hygienist by trade, and she was actually a lecturer at Wits University. She was lecturing the oral hygienists and the dental nurses, and it was a part-time position. She was going in, a couple of days in a week, and she was earning very, very little bit of money. And
I've actually been
they,
told. I've actually been told that that's not true. After the last episode, because she just yes, she was going in only certain days, but but sorry, sorry. But she said that she made enough because she just built her own house in Lone Hill.
yes,
Yeah, so she wasn't making very little. She was just not making as much as probably she would have
she
hoped.
she was the one who said that what she earned barely covered her
Oh, I see.
her traveling.
Fine. Okay, I see. Oh, yeah, fine. Okay, carry on.
Yes. So, well, the next day, Tracy went in to see the wife of the owner of Sportron. Luckily, we knew her, not all that well, but we knew her fairly well. Her one son was a friend of my son, Grant.
Michael. Yeah.
No, it was Derek
Oh, I always get it wrong.
and Grant. They were friends ever since they were in grade one. So
Mm.
it was easy for Tracy to speak to Penny, which was, Derek's mom. And Tracy said, "Would you like us to do your catering for you?" And she said, "Yes, yes." Apparently, they'd been having so much problems with caterers. And that's how we started. And they used to, every time they were promoting a new product, it would be a big, big function. Sometimes hundreds and hundreds of people would be there, and there were people from all different walks of life. And that sometimes they would go to Penny and say, who did your catering? And she would tell them, and they would get hold of us. And that's how we actually started. That's how we managed to get quite a few clients.
So I believe you started off with Crawford or not Crawford, sorry, you obviously started off with Sportron. But do you think not do you think, I'm so sorry, I'm very tired. You also eventually gained Country Played In, a preschool located in
Oh, yes, that was long afterwards. That was
so
quite a long time
who did
afterwards,
so
doing
so
a couple
you
of
obviously you
schools.
started home cooking in 1998, no 1995. No, 1990. I'm just going to say 1998 for argument's sake. Um, what? So you obviously got
Slater,
Sportron.
I think Slater was 7 months old when we started.
Yeah, so it must be 1998. Yeah, because he's turning 30 now, isn't he?
He is 30 already.
Yeah, so it must be no, 1997. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So you gained Sportron, and then what was your next client that you gained?
Oh, I don't know. We worked for Momentum. We worked for Sage Life. We worked for, oh goodness gracious, I can't even remember the names of all the companies that we worked for. And
And then you
and then
eventually you eventually came around to starting Meals at Home, which is a frozen food business for personal clients. How did that come around, and when did it come around, more importantly?
we had a chef working with us at one time, and he was saying that quite a few of his friends were saying, "Why don't we make individual meals?" And Tracy and I thought about it, and we just thought that it wouldn't be a feasible idea because, how can you have, say 20 or 30 plates of fresh food,
But it wouldn't be
every.
plates, would it?
So we thought about frozen food. So at that time, Spar, the supermarket with the name of Spar, they were cooking food where people could actually go in and buy the food and have a ready cooked meal when they got home.
In this country, we have the same thing. So at Lidl,
Yes,
because most
yes.
of our watches are in the UK or have
And
been to the
another
UK.
another place was Woolworths.
Yes.
So Tracy got a whole lot of meals from Woolworths and from Spar, and we test tasted them, and yeah. So that's how we started.
And why? Because now meals at home and home cooking, I trade under home cooking as one. Why did you not do that at the beginning? Why did you do the whole new meals at home rather than home cooking kind of thing?
Well, the thing is, we were busy. I mean, we were getting up at the crack of dawn every single day, working through the day, working through the night. I mean, there was no time to do something like that. And look, I'm very happy that we did do it because I think that is what I'm going to end up doing, just doing frozen meals.
Well, I
And I
believe,
enjoy it. I enjoy it because I've got such nice people that buy for
and
me,
I mean,
from
and I
me.
mean, even now, 20 odd years on, you still get new clients. I believe you gained a new client like just a couple of weeks ago.
No, we've actually, with the frozen food, we in the past couple of months, we've had quite a few new customers
Yeah, because people recommend you. The same with the tenants that you currently have.
with the,
Tenants that you currently have. People recommend people.
oh, yes, yes. No, 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 we're very, very, very lucky.
Yeah. Also,
And it's
also,
also, I find that it's a very, I think it's good for my soul,
yeah.
uh, dealing with these people because most of them are, elderly,
Mm,
and they are in a retirement home,
heartbreak,
and
yeah.
some of them are not capable of cooking for themselves. So it's actually quite nice because it's almost like we're doing something that's actually helping people.
Also, this really scared you, and it also kind of scared me. Many of you are familiar with the app ChatGPT, an AI platform. So the other day, we asked said platform about my grandmother, and we said, "Tell me everything you know about Elizabeth Hope Porchita." And it came out. It was really actually kind of creepy. It came out. Just trying to get it up. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read some of it. Came out with this. Elizabeth Hope Purchita, not going to say the date of birth, age 81, location something South Africa. Elizabeth Hope Purchita is a seasoned entrepreneur. Well, I suppose if you know what schools you provide for, you know what town she lives in. Elizabeth Hope Purchita is a seasoned entrepreneur with a strong presence in the Lone Hill community. With decades of experience, she currently owns and operates three active businesses. Home Cooking SA, a trusted supplier of nutritious home cooked meals and daily nutritious meals for the kids at Crawford Pre-Primary, ensuring children receive quality food daily. Now, bear in mind, this is not a public. Okay, I suppose it is publicly available. Like if you go onto the home cooking website, there's the testimony from Crawford. But other than that, Crawford Meals at Home. Here we go. Meals at Home, a home meal delivery service that brings freshly prepared, wholesome meals to families throughout the Lone Hill area. Now, the next company was my grandfather's originally, and when he passed away in 2021, rest in peace. He we had to find a new director, and obviously Nana became the director. She was the only one who actually, well, she didn't want it, but the only one who would take it. So, Lumberjack Professional Tree Fellers, a reliable and professional tree felling and garden service company known for safety, efficiency, and environmental care. Recent developments: Home Cooking SA and Meals at Home SA have recently merged to streamline operations and expand their customer base. The combined brand aims to offer more diverse meal options while maintaining the high standards both companies are known for. Fair enough. We never made that information public, did we?
I don't even know where it comes from. And I found it quite frightening. I think it's almost like an invasion to the privacy.
Well, I looked up we were talking about that company profile thing, people profile. I put my name in, and bear in mind, I have no company ties in South Africa. I'm a 13-year-old boy. And it came up with my ID number, my birthday. Bear in mind, we use ID numbers in South Africa. It's a whole thing. And it came up with my ID number, my birthday, my old phone number, my old address. It came up with two addresses. It came up with personal work. Personal was the gemstone, and funnily enough, the work one. Guess where the work one was? Your house.
Isn't there some way that you can find out, who actually, um, you know, uh, puts all this info?
Well, it's the government. It's the government's website. So I suppose they get it all from Home Affairs, which is kind of creepy, right?
But now,
I think,
does this mean that anybody can go into this app?
yeah, B2B next. You go onto it, you type the person you want. So, like, I can go onto it now. Go onto it on my phone. So we'll go here. Go onto here.
So there's
B2B
actually
next.
a way that a person can remain anonymous today.
Well, no, I suppose if you don't, pardon me. Oh, sorry.
Maybe if you're not breathing anymore, maybe you can
Well,
get
no.
away.
Also, if you don't use your phone, like if you were to live in a world, if you were to live in a, like if you were to get rid of your phone, your TV, your everything, and live anonymously from the day you were born, then I suppose yes. But in this day and age, it's just not possible. Like in this country, like the rides that like are at like the restaurants where you put a pound coin in and it goes now and it goes and it goes around.
Yes.
They've gotten so greedy, they've gotten rid of that. It's now a card reader. You tap your card and it lets you go at £1.50. Like the fact that like I like using cash, right? I love tapping my phone and hearing the ding that it makes. I'll do the bidding now. Give me a sec. You can tell me if this is satisfying for you guys or not. And I'm just gonna do something, and you guys will hear the bidding. So as much as I love hearing the bidding, right? The fact that they make you pay with cards for rides, like if you've got a 50p or a £1 coin laying around, yeah, shove it in there, why not? But the fact that they've made you have to use cards now. Right, here's the bidding, people. Listen up, listen up. Like as much as I love that bidding, right? It's the most satisfying bidding anyway. Anything. It's the most satisfying bidding, but the fact that they're making you use cards is just a bit ridiculous.
But it's not exciting. That's not exciting.
Well,
Um,
okay. I think it excites me because I love it. I just like noises. Like every day at school, I tap in. I don't have to, but I do because I like the bing it makes. Like that's just my ADHD. That's just my ADHD. But also, it's that sense of I don't know. I don't. It's just I don't actually know. But the one thing I would say is cards shouldn't be the way of the world because if anyone's been following the news about Marks and Spencers and Co-op, they've been hacked. And they're planning on hacking a bunch of other supermarkets at the moment, the anonymous group, whatever. Um, and all their card systems have been down. They've lost about 1 million sales in the last month because they don't have cash. It's mainly card. And none of their point of sale systems are working, so they can't open the cash registers.
uh, I'm sure, a number of years ago in America, they, no shop would accept cash.
Mm.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they now, so like I think there's a few shops that don't accept cash, and I mean even local vendors. Like you go to a local vendor, you expect them to be cash only, right? Now they're card only. We went to this cafe in the Lake District. It was a small, tiny little cafe, like probably the size of your bedroom or maybe even smaller. And we went in there and they're like, "Oh no, we only take card. But you have to spend at least £10 to cover our fees." Then surely accept cash, right? Um, but anyway, we digress. What were we talking about? We're talking. Oh yeah. So on that note, how did? Actually, hang on. I'm gonna leave a gap because I do want to clip this part. How did you meet my grandfather?
Well, basically, it was almost like a blind date. I
So
was
tell us the
going.
whole story.
I went out with his friend. And oh well, it started off. There was a girl who used to work with me, and she went on a blind date with this guy, and she showed us a photograph of, there were four of them, two girls and two guys, at a dance. So this friend, she just moved into a new flat, and she was going to have a flat warming party. And I said to her, I said, why don't you invite this guy, but tell him not to bring a partner. So she did invite him, but he did bring a partner. And I don't know, he wasn't as nice looking as he was in the photograph. And it was months and months after that Reuben actually phoned this friend and asked her if she would go on a blind date with a friend of his.
Yeah.
And she had just got engaged. And she said, no, no, but maybe my friend Liz will, go. And he spoke to me and he picked me up with his friend Trevor. And he had I think it was a 1938 Chev Dickey seat. And so, two people could sit
Say the
inside the
quote.
car.
Say the quote. Say the quote.
Say the what?
Say the quote that I told you about the other day, and he would put what's his name in the dicky seat. Say it.
No, no, no. So I'm telling you. So two people could sit in the front, and then two people could sit in the dicky seat.
Dicky
But the
seat.
dicky seat was outside, at the back of the vehicle. So he put poor Trevor in the dicky seat, and I sat next to him. Then he went to pick up his date, and he put her in the dicky seat with Trevor. And and then at the dance, he danced with me the whole night. And when we went home, he dropped off his date. Then he dropped off Trevor, and then he took me home. And well, that was the beginning of our relationship. Right? I saw him every day after that, and we got engaged, and we got married, and we had children, and yes, it was pretty good.
Well, I'm sure all the people that you're friends with on Facebook will love to hear that when I post it on your Facebook
No,
and
no, you
tag you.
mustn't post it on anything, Adam.
Oh well, we'll have to see about that. But I do like listening to that story. I've heard it about 3 times in the last week. We've had to re-record this 3 times. I'm so fed up. Um, but every time I hear that story, it is actually still quite nice. Um, and then you
When
would
we, when Reuben asked my dad if he could marry me, uh, my dad said yes. Well, first of all, we had a lot of leaking taps in our house, and Reuben went and he bought new washers for all the taps, and he was, repairing all the taps before he asked my father, if he could marry me.
he's always been
And
a handyman. Always was a
yes,
handyman.
he's always been a handyman. And after my dad said, yes, he could marry me, my dad used to make fun of me, and then he used to take a sheet of paper and a pen, and then he'll say, this is how you're going to have to sign your name after you're married to Reuben. And he would draw a little pot and a watering can. And at that stage, I couldn't understand what my father was getting at. But put hitter, a pot is a pot, and a heater is a watering can. So that's what my father did. He drew a little pot and a little watering can and said, that's how I'm going to have to sign my name in future.
Yes, because your maiden name was Clutie, so that's obviously quite a easy Cloeete or whatever. So that's
Yes.
quite easy. Now, for those of you who don't know and are a bit stupid in the head, this podcast is the Hatfield Hatter Club. It's my mom's maiden name, and I thought, well, there's no point in trying to find like the Porchita, um, a newsletter or something. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just do Hatfield Hatter Club. I should have done Mad Hatter Club, but we've done now. Um, and that's like such easy. You could say Hatfield to like a 5-year-old, and they'd be able to go Hatfield, a kind of thing, right? Um, but also another question for you. Um, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So so I think we're gonna have to finish up in about 5 minutes, but um, how did how did you gain? Because Country Played In was always a tie through a family friend, Belinda, who I'm sure I'll have on here at some point. I'm gonna try. I'll get hold of her and I'll try get her here on here at some point about running Country Played In, all that kind of stuff. Um, but how did Country Played In come to be?
Belinda just asked me if I would do the lunches for the children because the parents were saying that, I mean, lots of little babies and tiny little children, that when the parents would pick them up at, I think, 12 o'clock, they would fall asleep in the car and they wouldn't have anything to eat. So Belinda decided that she would, that meals would be made for the children
Yeah.
and they would eat before they go home and fall asleep in the car.
Yeah, so I remember when you first became the cook, I was there at the school and or whenever it was, and every day I would sit down at lunch and I'd be like, "There's the person who works for my grandmother. She's coming to bring the food in or whatever, Jackson, or sometimes he brought it in the afternoon, sometimes it was in the morning, whatever." And they'd come with the big black crates, and you still have the big crates. And every day I'd say, he works for my grandmother. My grandmother cooks the food. He's like, "No,
But,
she
but,
doesn't."
but what happened with you, I can't remember the lady that used to uh, bring the food in, wherever you used to,
Yeah.
I think you all used to sit outside, on those
You
little
know,
chairs.
do you remember when we went for like the last event that we had when we were kids there and we sat on the grass and we looked like towards teacher Bridget's class and there was that like that what's the word I'm looking for? Like a patio and with an opening.
But there was one lady, I think her name was something like Nomsa or Noma,
Normsy.
something like
Normsy.
that. And she used to bring the food in. And then
Mm.
one day someone happened to mention that I made the food. And you were so upset. I don't make the food. It's Nomsi. It was Nomsi makes the food and all that. And you just couldn't understand that I was actually
And
making
then
the food and we were delivering it
And
there.
then no,
And
and then also when I realized and I started telling everyone, the one day Jackson was off sick and you came to deliver and you were like really late. It was like lunchtime at this point, and you came in, you walked around the corner, you parked the Belingo, you walked around the corner with the crate. I'm like, that's my grandmother, and I got up and I ran over to hug you, and I have this vivid
listen,
memory.
you were absolutely great. I mean, from the time that I started picking you up at nursery school,
Yeah, you always
every now and again, uh, as soon as you used to see me, you used to drop everything and you
and
used to
run.
run. It was like a little flash
Yeah,
running towards me, and you would throw your arms around
yeah.
me, and it was always such a lovely welcome.
Do you remember when you came to the UK in 2022 and I saw you and I didn't run because obviously running in an airport not a very good idea, but I hugged you for a good 40 seconds straight, and I remember it brought back such memories because like after I realized that you cook, after you told me, and I saw Jackson for the first time coming to deliver in the Bilingo, I was like, then I started saying, my grandmother Nana, she cooks all the food for you guys. It's not Nomsi. And like, no, it is Nomsi. It's not your grandmother. And I'm like, no, it's my grandmother. And that was the day that you happened to walk in and you come with the big black crates. You walked around the corner and I'm like, that's my grandmother. And I ran and I gave you a big hug and you're like, okay, Adam, I am working. I am working. Let me deliver the food. And I'm like, I told you. I said it. I said that. I'm like, I told you it was my grandmother that makes the food because you came with the crates and all the bags inside. I'm like, I told you it wasn't Nomsi. And I think Nomsi was in the corner laughing her head off. And it's like, yes, I always try to tell you, or like, yeah, I always try to tell you guys. No, that's not the wrong accent. Uh,
Well, isn't it?
let me try.
It's almost the same
I
as
always try to
I've
tell
got.
you that it wasn't me, it was Lizzie. And every time no one would believe her. And I'm like, no, it's you, Nomsi. And then when I realized it was you, I'm like, no, it's my grandmother. Oh, I loved it. It was so funny.
This this brings something to my memory. I've got quite a few customers, and over the years, I have had more than a few where
Yeah.
they would actually bring their dishes and order food, and I must put it in their dishes because they would be having a dinner
Like a
party,
dinner party,
and,
yeah.
and they weren't prepared to tell their guests that somebody else had cooked the food, and they used to say that they cooked the food.
Yeah, I think that's quite funny. I said in the last episode, but obviously that'll be taken down, and this one will be uploaded to every platform known to man, so everyone knows about this. Anyway, um, um, in the last episode we were talking about this one who was having like a lunch party, and then they come, Liz, this is my favorite food, and it was something, and then the husband was like the beef con carne, no, not beef con carne, the silver side. And she's like, please put it in my dish. I want one half the silver side, and one I think was sweet and sour chicken or something. Um, and you made it in the dishes, and that story. I think I was there that day, and I came into the cooking kitchen, and here you were with these two big, massive Pyrex dishes, and you were cooking in these Pyrex dishes. I'm like, why aren't you making it in the buckies? Because you always have the little metal buckies. And you're like, no, no, we don't do it in the buckies for this customer. I remember laughing. Oh, and then another thing. Tell the story. You know how whenever we stayed over, which was quite often during COVID, especially, what would I do every morning, like clockwork, at 4:30 in the morning?
Oh, you were absolutely great. I mean, you all used to sleep in my bed.
Yeah,
And and I had a room with two beds uh, with, where
that I
you
joined
guys were
together.
supposed to sleep. And
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry.
I remember the first time we decided that we were going to draw numbers to see
Draw
who
names
was
out of
going to
that.
sleep with the
Oh,
two
that was
beds
chaos. That was
and who
chaos.
was going to sleep with me. And I think it was Isabel you had to sleep uh, in the
With yeah,
in the one bed, in the one
Ethan got
bed.
the hat. I think Ethan just sat there on his phone as well. Because normally what we used to do is we used to watch like a movie. It was always Mamma Mia, or Mamma Mia 2. It was always Mamma Mia, and you would be sitting there and you would like, and then the phone would fall on your face, and then we'd all be like, Nana, pick up the phone. And then the first night, I think it was just silence. Ethan just sat there on his phone, and you were on the bank or whatever. And me and Isabel were in the room next door. And I think me or Isabel, I think it was me that fell off the bed. And in the middle of the night, you heard a big crash, and you came running. Well, not running, obviously. You were like 75. You came running, and
I was younger than 75 at that
no,
stage.
you weren't, because this was in the cottage. This was in the cottage. So it must have only been 3 or 4 years ago. And you came running into the room and you were like, Adam, are you okay? And I'm like, no, please can I sleep with you? And you're like, yeah, okay. And then you brought me and Isabel in. And then the one
Well,
time,
whoever slept in that room that the first night, there were two of you, one
me
in
and
each bed,
Isabel,
and one of you was sleeping with me,
Ethan,
and it didn't work out. And
no,
eventually, all three of you were in my bed.
again, yeah.
And this carried on as you guys were growing
Even when we were 10,
taller,
even when I was
taller.
10 and 9 and
You
6 or whatever, we still did it.
No one wanted to sleep on their own. They wanted to sleep in my bed.
Yeah.
And sometimes, oh goodness, I was so squashed up, I would get out of the bed, manage to get, out of
Out
bed,
of the bed.
and then I would sleep on the bottom end of the bed, across the bed.
Or or one memory I have is because Days of Our Lives, you love Days of Our Lives. That's what this episode's named after. But we all fell asleep, and then you must have left and gone to the lounge, and it was just next door to watch this was in the cottage, and you were watching Days of Our Lives. And I woke up and I was like, I was in such a state of panic because it was like quite warm, and I was like, where's Nana? Where's Nana? Where's Nana? Where's Nana? And I got my phone. I picked up my phone from under my pillow, and I turned the torch on, and I'm going around. I'm like, where's Nana? So I phone. I think I phoned your phone, and I hear it ringing next door, and you're like quickly trying to turn it off. So I go and I'm like, Nana, why are you watching TV? And she's like, and I'm like, I can't sleep. So I came and I remember I had to keep my eyes behind you because it was Days of Our Lives, obviously not appropriate for a 8-year-old. And so I remember sitting there with my face behind your back, and then we just spent like 2 hours there, and I couldn't go to sleep. And then eventually, when we went back to bed, I was fine. And that was quite funny. But
But
there's been,
you know what was always so great when you used to sleep over there at my house, and you'd wake up early in the morning,
mm,
and then you would surprise all of us with
breakfast in bed,
hot chocolate, and
egg on
fruit,
toast.
and hot cross buns, and all that, and you would bring it to us in bed.
I made egg on toast quite a few
Yes,
times as well.
egg as well, yes.
Yeah.
And
That's how I
that
learned.
was
And also,
absolutely
like, that's a
great.
big milestone. Like, in this country, yeah, fine, 9 or 10-year-old can do that, but it was a gas stove as well. You have a gas stove as well in the kitchen where I made it. Because this was before like the cottage was complete and the stove hadn't been hooked up yet. So I had to go through into the main kitchen, and it's a gas stove, and I would light it so meticulously with the match or the big lighter, and I'd light it. I'd put the oil and because I'd seen you make eggs so many times before, it's like muscle memory, and even now today I can make egg with like that without even thinking, right? Um, but we would go to the Woolworths and we'd buy the hot cross buns. We never used to buy them from anywhere else. It was only Woolworths, and we'd get the hot
Only
chocolate,
Woolworths,
whatever.
and still today, only
Only
Woolworths.
Woolworths, yeah. And the same way we only buy hot cross buns from Sainsbury's here, and we'd get the hot cross buns before, and we would get the hot chocolate or whatever. And and then the next day I would make up the hot chocolate. I would boil the kettle, do the hot chocolate. I'd have a tea or something for me, I think it was, or Isabel, and I'd butter the hot cross buns. I think Ethan had his toasted all the time. And and then some Ethan always liked the the cold chocolate. With the milk and
Yes,
the hot chocolate powder, and he loved it. And
I think that was Ethan.
yeah, and then I would make that up for him, whatever, and I would bring on the tray because you still have those trays. Just go grab one of the blue trays for me, and show it.
No, they're in the cooking kitchen
Oh, are
over
they in the
there.
oh, have they been moved? We had the blue
I
trays. You'd
still
always
use
bring
them.
the
I still
let
use
me
them every day.
yeah, and the blue trays, and I'd bring it on the blue tray. I'd bring the big thing of cups, and I'd go back and I'd bring the plates of hot cross buns and egg and toast, and every morning, and because this was days where like I think once I got up at like 3 o'clock and I didn't realize the time, and I went and made breakfast. But because South Africa, I think because by the time I'd like actually gotten myself out of bed, it was like 4 o'clock, so it was already getting light. So I'm like, oh, it's the morning, so I can go make breakfast. And then
Well, listen here, we used to love getting the breakfast, and I think you loved making the breakfast.
yeah, and I still do. I might not do it as much, but I still do. And I mean, do you remember the clock of yours that dong dong? Who's texting me?
The clock is not working anymore. It's not donging anymore.
Does it not dong anymore? Oh no.
No, I don't know. Over the years, I think that sometimes I pull up the weights too high,
Hmm.
and then sometimes I have to wait months and months and months, for it to go down a little bit, and then it will just start donging.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you moved it, because you moved it quite a lot, and whenever you move it, it used to go ding dong, and then whenever you move it, go ding dong, 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 and it was the most irritating sound at midnight at
It's
night.
so loud.
Ding, ding dong. Dong! Dong! Like it was so irritating, and I'm sorry for all the listeners who I've just deafened, but it was so irritating. It was like it would go dong at like midnight, and I like the ding dong kind of thing, but the dong was like just so irritating.
Oh, Tracy always used to complain about that.
Yeah.
Stop the donging.
Yeah, I'll turn the dong off. But I mean, like even now, you finally figured out how to use alarms on your phone, haven't you? So you've stopped using your alarm clock. You now have an alarm on your phone for when you need to get up early, don't you?
Oh goodness, that took a lot of learning.
Oh my greatness! You go into an app and you turn on an alarm. It's not that hard, Nana.
I know, but it took a lot of learning. I think I managed it twice.
Yeah, well,
Twice
I
where it
mean,
actually worked.
well,
And
I
then it's
mean,
so awful. Then it's so awful because I don't know if I've done
how to
it
turn,
properly, and
or
then
you
I
don't know
don't
how to
sleep
turn it
that
off.
night because I'm just scared that I won't wake up in time.
Yeah. Well, also, I don't know how you're going to survive with no tech support for quite a while. 3 weeks in Canada, 3 weekends where there's going to be no signal, and also you can't just phone me. We're not an hour apart. It's going to be 8 hours apart now, 9 hours apart. Don't know how you're going to survive.
Well, the thing is, I do manage to speak to Tracy quite often, so
Yeah,
we'll
but
make
we're
a
going. But you
plan.
must remember. But you must remember, we're going to Whistler. We're going to the island, and we're going to Sasquatch Park. No signal. Weekends, going to be out most of the day, so I don't know how you're going to get hold of me, but I'm having to write documentation for how everything works in my house for my family, so they don't know, so they don't left in the dark. But it's quite funny. Um, I had another story I wanted to tell, and I can't remember. It was about. Must have been about. Oh, the jump out of the computer story. The jump out of the computer story.
Yes, that was absolutely great. I mean, ever since, uh, when Tracy left South
Yeah.
Africa, you were a baby, and she was on the plane going to Canada
When
the
Ethan
day
was
that
born.
Ethan was born,
Yeah.
and she was nowhere around when Isabel was born.
Yeah.
And so now whenever the three of you used to come and visit, I always used to make sure that I would Skype Tracy, and then you guys would
And it
all
would
speak
always
to Tracy, and
it
she
would
would
always
always
be as
play
soon as we got
music, and
home.
she'd be dancing, and you guys would be
Yeah,
dancing
you've seen the video of the Waka Waka air of all of me and Isabel dancing. She was so tiny. But I remember vividly. We drove in the Renault, the dinky Renault that somehow we got 40,000 rand for. We drove in, turned the car off, and my dad came in for tea. Obviously, he had already known before, and he was like, "I'm like, why are you coming in?" He's like, "No, I'm coming for tea." And we went upstairs, and Ethan was talking to Tracy because he'd also already run in, obviously. And then he's like, "Give Adam a turn," and I was talking to her, and my dad was videoing, and then I came up to my dad, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, "No, I'm just checking my messages." And then Tracy comes, "Ta-da! Guess who's visiting?" And I stood there, and I'm like, "Computer, Tracy, computer, and Tracy, what?" And
But yeah, Tracy was in one of the bedrooms, and
mm,
uh, uh,
and she had to keep her
we
phone
were
so
we were
close to
we
her
were
face.
on Skype,
Skype.
and
Rest in peace, Skype, by the way.
all three of you spoke to Tracy,
In turn.
on Skype, and then she came out of the bedroom. And Isabel, she was convinced that Tracy came out of the
To be fair, I think
computer.
still this day, I think she still thinks that.
I think it was so
But
cute.
also, she had to keep her phone so close to her. Sorry, she had to keep her phone so close to her face because I knew because we all know what that room looks like because we've been in that room a million times before. So she couldn't just have it like, oh yes, look where I am, kids. Look where I am, Kitty Winkles. She had to keep her phone really close to her face, and then I was like, but obviously we so used to having her on the computer. We were like, why you look so weird? And she came in and was like, "Tada!" It was amazing. It was great, and then we had all. I think this was after Grandpa had the stroke.
No, no, no. I think no, it was before Grandpa had the stroke.
Was it? Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, my oh God just came off. And then we all had our own day. We got to choose what we wanted to do, and we had our own day with you and her. No, this was when Grandpa had COVID because I spent most of my day in the hospital with while you visited Grandpa.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, it was.
Oh, those were the days. I'd love to have them back again. Oh, goodness. Oh, what's happening? Okay, so well, can't it end now? No.
Right, should be good to go. I'm hoping. That's going to let me try. Yes. We apologize for those very annoying technical difficulties. Nana, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So yeah, so it was because I spent most of my day in my hospital. Like oh yeah, so even when we went to A&E in the Lake District for Mana, I just loved spending time with them. We did Uber Eats and it was amazing. I don't mind, right? But it was amazing. Um, and then do you remember when I was sick off school and I had to be with you, and then it was the day that Maureen was arriving? I think to be fair, I just said that because I wanted to drive to the airport to Lanseria to pick Maureen up with you. But that's a story for another day. But I think that's all the time we've got for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and tuning in and listening to this very boring, very chaotic podcast. Nana, Icon, thank you for being on here for the third time. I'm sure everyone, especially two people that I definitely know, will love having another episode with you. Thank you so much for joining us again. And have you got anything else to say before we decide to end this peacefully?
And just I think that you asked very good questions,
Thank
and you
you.
sound very, very professional.
Thank you.
And I love you.
Yeah, of course. Love you too. The last thing. Oh, I forgot to do this last time, and I'm not forgetting to do it again. We're going to do What's on the Hat, where I pull a random topic out of my metaphorical top hat and we just have a quick conversation about it. And I completely forgot to do it last time, and I was so irritated about it. And we definitely have to do it this time. But I'm betting on the fact that I won't be able to find it. Gosh, hang on, give me a second. Oh gosh, why am I getting too many texts? Topics? Must be topics. Oh, I can't find it. Okay, we'll do that next episode. Thank you so much for joining us, Liz. Thank you so much for joining us, Nana, as I like to
It's a
call you. And
pleasure.
I'm sure we'll have another episode with you on. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Nana, don't hang up yet, but I am going to stop the recording. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.